Hello. How are you? It's time for another Gungeon. It's time for Gungeon number 1,617. No, we're on like 920 probably, somewhere around there, 916. Just giving myself a little credit. I gotta go get my water. I'm not gonna start this video over. Here's a thing that I enjoy doing. Wee!
Stop doing a perfect impression of me. Hurts my feelings.
Anyway, let's go back to the Gungeon. Alan! You see him running in here?
You streaming?
I'm not streaming, I'm just recording.
Okay.
Alan!
Sorry. He fucking knows.
Sorry for yelling.
Like this the whole time.
No, you're not. Your breath stinks.
My breast stinks.
Your breasts smell like weed sticks. Each one a different weed stick.
Not that much. Each one has different needs.
So I got two stony balonies over here fucking coughing up a storm. They're like coughing and then just like screaming. At least Jackie's just like screaming about how much she's coughing. She's just going like, oh! Now I think she's trying to. She's kind
I'm
of.
gonna hang out here and keep doing this.
She's like playing it up at this point. Don't let that stinko cat in here, Jackie. You gotta stop. He stinks. He smells like weed. Oh wait, that's you.
You know what we're doing. You know you can't be in here.
Weed's legal in this state. It's okay. Don't fret.
And this state is Iowa.
Is it legal? I don't know. You're the one.
Illinois.
What about it?
So Iowa's
Indiana.
Oh my
they're all
god.
the same, Idaho.
All of the ice states.
They're all the same in Idaho.
Brutus, are you stoned?
Also like Ohio.
Nah, he wouldn't partake.
It's good. You know, it's like poisonous for animals. He's flexing his tail? That's not a thing that you can do.
That's why he stinks.
Dang, why in the...
God!
He really thinks he's gonna, like, get out. He's so squeaky and pathetic.
Grab you by your scruff like a little kitten. How's that make you feel? Like a pussy baby?
Makes him feel like a big strong man.
He's like, Nate, help me.
Damn.
Bye.
Dad! That's how she think Alan sounds. His human voice is like, Dad!
Only God knows.
Oh, Jackie just watched Pleasantville, which has Don Knotts as the guy inside the TV, I think.
It does.
I remember when she was watching that movie and I came in the room and I was like, this is that fucking guy from those old shows, but I can't think of his name. He's from the Andy Griffith Show, right? He played like
He played
the
Barney.
slapstick character. Yeah, probably Barney.
Barney.
Yeah. He's like, oh, wow.
Two Barneys. One of them's a dinosaur.
And one of them is the neighbor of a guy.
One is a fish man.
One of them is the neighbor of the guy who lives in Dino Times, also. What is it with Barney and dinosaurs, specifically? Barney Rubble, Barney Dinosaur, two examples of this thing.
I mean, the third example, obviously, is the one we mentioned earlier, Don Knotts, the old, like a dinosaur.
Barnosaurus. Nickname Barney. Well, dang. We are not going to be able to open. We're not going to be able to buy that. And we're not going to be able to open another weapon. We got one of those boring ass, slow ass, regular marine runs that's just going to be the fucking time consumption and, like, you know, he'll wear us down and catch us in a slick sitchy. Slick sitchy where we're just positioned wrong. Damn it. That was one of our 2 blanks. I don't want to have to use the other one. But I will hopefully not and then still get hit, which happens often. Man, that dodge roll did not feel good, but it worked. It got the job done. I watched this video. I really like the this video essayist named Super Eyepatch Wolf. He takes a lot of that was so close. A lot of pop media stuff, and kind of writes up like why you should be interested in it, or why you should pay attention to it, or the current state of it. Like the first video I watched was called the Fall of Simpsons, how it happened. God damn it, he's my other blank. And it was just talking about like the way The Simpsons has changed since the early seasons to its later ones, and it kind of got me interested in rewatching the early season, to be honest. And I'm glad that it did. Dude, this first floor sucks ass. God damn. Maybe we can buy a fucking blank or something. I don't know. Oh, we're 1 away from Casey. Alright, well, still sucks ass. And it's another locked chest that we can't go in. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Anyway, he has another one about, like, the bizarre world of modern Simpsons, like, the way that people are, the way that people have taken The Simpsons and turned it into another thing. It's where I also found out about Bart Kira, which is all of Akira redone with Simpsons characters in the roles of the Akira characters. And I don't know if they got all the books done, but they at least got the first one, which is a huge, like, 300-400 page volume done. And it's like, I don't know, it's really cool. But Super Eyepatch Wolf, he makes really, really good videos, and the most recent one he did was about Sonic the Hedgehog, and where Sonic is in the zeitgeist right now. He's it's a really interesting look, and I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend watching any of Super Eyepatch Wolf's videos. He does the video essayist voice a little bit, the one where there's big pauses between the words, because he's like, it's something that I think started with Nerdist and became like standard, where it's this strange emphasis, but it also allows them to like go back and edit in different things without losing too much. And it's something that's distracting, but the content of the videos is incredible. They're well put together, they're well edited, and they're very, very well written. He loves a lot of anime and like wrestling and things that I don't care about, but his videos are so well done that I think a lot of them are worth watching. I don't care about Sonic at all. I don't care about Sanic at all. I don't care about any of the memes. I actually was one of the few people that was like, I was really upset at how seriously people were taking the appearance of Sonic in the new Sonic movie. These people that like acted like it, was a ruining of their childhood, that Sonic looked a little weird or whatever in the before the new movie came out. And, those same people that probably didn't go out of their way to go fucking see the movie when his appearance is different. Like, for me, it just like it didn't fucking matter, because it's, one, it's just like a kid's movie. Two, if you wanna like put your childhood on the line because a character looks weird, I don't know what to say. Like find a new hobby or something. I don't know. It feels weird. I know that like I rail against fandom, but I think fandom is like one of the most toxic things going on right now. People claiming ownership of media, and then acting like the world relies on the continued sameness of said media. That it's like, so there's an episode of Futurama where they have to do a show because like the broadcast just got to Omicron Persei 8 or whichever number it was, and in that episode, Leela decides to change the story of single female lawyer to make her a little bit like more developed. You know, she changes things. She's given up on law and she stopped being single. She wants to settle down, right? And Fry has this big point where he's like, you know, you're ruining it. People don't want change. They want the same thing over and over and over. And it's like, it sucks how true that is. How like often you'll see people take risks and make bold, like actual changing things to media, and people despise it because what they think in their mind, name X, Resident Evil or Legend of Zelda or Star Wars or whatever is this. It means if you're making a Star Wars movie, it has to be a family-based superhero wizard knight yoga master movie. Like, it can't be about individual development. It has to come from genealogy. Stuff I've talked about a million times. Anyway, I love when expectations are bucked. I love when you get something that you didn't know you signed up for. And there was some stupid stuff in The Last Jedi, in all of the Star Wars movies, but I think the main point is like, man, you gotta let go of the past. And people don't want that. People want Star Wars to be well, but they don't. Like, people were complaining that The Force Awakens was too much like A New Hope, and then Rian Johnson released something very different. They're like, nah, it's not Star Wars. Star Wars is supposed to be like A New Hope. Anyway, I've talked about that 10 million times, but like, I think fandom is a very toxic and problematic thing, and there's a big chunk of Super Eyepatch Wolf's video talking about like how fandom has distorted the image of Sonic to the point that the creators of Sonic have like been pretty much forced to go along with some of the distortions. Like, there's some stuff in Sonic that they have to be like, haha, we were always in on the joke, like, or else it seems like they're old-fashioned and they're, you know, stodgy, like, and that's never what Sonic's been about. He's always been about like attitude and youthful rebellion and stuff like that. But it's just fucking, it's weird for me that like people's, I don't know, like the company that made the movie spent however much, $5 million refiguring Sonic. Maybe, probably more than $5 million, because that's chump change in terms of movie productions. And I don't know a single person that went and saw it and said like, man, they really nailed the way this guy looks, and now I want to see this kid's movie because of it. Like, I went and saw the Detective Pikachu movie specifically because it looked so unlike what I imagined Pokemon would look like in a real world setting or whatever. Like, I loved that it went in a different direction. I thought the movie was boring as fuck, but I kind of assumed that a movie aiming for an 8-year-old audience was going to be boring. I thought every Pokemon movie, whether animated or live action, was boring for the same reasons. But I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, I wonder what it's gonna take to wrest people of their ownership of these properties. Or is it like, is it great? Is it allowing these media that wouldn't have existed or wouldn't have thrived to have a chance that there's such intense ownership of the property? Like, one of the things that I think about is, what the fuck is it called? Game of Thrones. I never watched Game of Thrones. I don't, you know, the super big dramas, not my whole scene necessarily. I do love like hard fantasy settings like that, but still, I never got into it. You know, it's like the show Lost. I probably would have loved that while it was going on, but I happened to not get into it, and I got to see people like fall to pieces because this thing that they had such ownership of turned out to not be their idealized vision of the final season. I don't care what happened. I don't care if expectations were met or things were lost. When you have like, fuck, wow, that was close. I got caught on the wall there. When you have 8 seasons of something, there's going to be some stuff that 8 seasons of hour-long episodes with continent-wide dramatic events. There's going to be some stuff that gets lost. I don't really know the details, and I am not one to speak about it. But it's also, like, for me, it's like, if you tie so much of yourself to the work of someone else, you're bound to get disappointed. You know, the big thing that people used to have, like, that same kind of fandom ownership of back when I was in school was music. There was, like, no end of posturing and dick measuring contests about, like, how long ago you started listening to a certain band or when you saw them live before anybody heard about it. I do it too. Like, there's so many times I think about, like, how lucky I was to see Grizzly Bear, you know, this band that, like, was relatively unknown and then blew up. And then I hear myself telling the story and I'm like, man, I'm a fucking tool. Dang, we don't need Monster Blood, but we definitely need Double Vision. I hear myself falling into the same habit of bragging about my, like, seeking legitimacy as, like, I don't know, being there from an earlier point. And that was really, really big for the indie music scene back in the early 2000s. Early 2000s to, like, 2010. There, about that period. I'm very surprised we actually made that on this run. I didn't feel super optimistic about the chances there. I'm also very surprised that we haven't had a single thing drop. I would like to not have to use my supply drop, but we're pretty close. Yo. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I remember, like, people getting upset that the new album wasn't, like, this is not an indie band. Well, maybe it technically is an indie band, but they were extremely, extremely popular. And that there I go sounding like fucking smarmy about what is and isn't indie music. But I remember when the second album by The Strokes came out after Is This It? People were just like, oh, they got too, like, produced. The songs don't have that rough, like, garage feel. And it's just like, dude, are the songs good? I've been the same way. I mean, I think an example of that going way too far is, like, Kings of Leon. But even still, I'm a smug prick for, like, thinking that an album has to, or an artist or band has to sound a certain way in order to be that artist or band. Some of my favorite groups out there are groups that constantly have very, very new sounds, album after album, like, I don't know, the Talking Heads or David Byrne or David Bowie or, you know, for a while I was really, really into Radiohead, and they're, like, you know, they always have weird kind of an avant-garde feel to them, but they went all over the place, and it was so much better because of that. Dude, the keys. Please. I gotta do it. Let me see something. Supply drop. Sells for 16. That'll give us enough for the key. I'm gonna try using just the Magnum. See how this goes. I'm not gonna... I'll sell the supply drop if I have to. But hopefully we can... Luckily it's an easier fight. It doesn't mean that I absolutely can guarantee I won't get hit. I get hit on all kinds of dumb and easy fights. There we go. Didn't have to use it yet. Did we make enough for a key? No, but we got a key, so should we use the key?
Oh.
What else could I drop? You know what? I know what else we could drop. You don't usually drop these, but... I don't know how much money he's giving me, but hopefully some amount. Okay, good. A nickel for each of those? That's not too terrible. Oh, we're not gonna make it a 54. We didn't find the secret room. Which means we weren't paying attention, and we should go back through all of the rooms looking at the walls. Because we got the blanks, and we got the time. Yeah, I don't know. I feel not like... I'm not better than the people that do that, because I honestly do it too, and it sucks. It like really sucks to take such a degree of ownership over something that someone else made, to the point of like being willing to like throw all their hard work and effort away because it didn't meet your demands or whatever. Dude, where the fuck is the secret room? This stupid thing. There's like 2 rooms it could be in, and they both seem pretty close to the start. Seem way too close to the start to have secret rooms in them. Did I go south of here? That's weird. We're gonna sell the Devolver bullets right now. Devolver rounds. No synergy. Sell for 30. That won't give us enough on its own. Ooh. M1911 is not fucking worth the dough it's bred on. Let's just get out of here. Take an extra blank with us. We still got the supply drop. It's absolutely going to be a last ditch kind of thing. We dropped 5 glass Guanstones, which may have saved us from more damage than... I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. It might not have been worth it to drop all 5 of those, but... We got some good stuff. We got extra health and we got... Oh, there it is right there, baby. And yeah, and we're like fire and poison, or we got a fire that we are proofed against. Whoa, dude. And we got a double dose of poison immunity, which is overkill, but not really a problem. I don't know, I was thinking about it. So Joseph Anderson, who is another YouTube person that I really like and respect, he does very long form essays about video essays about video games, usually pretty popular ones, because his videos are so in depth. He has to kind of choose wisely. If he was like, he did one about this game called like something sausage roll. It's like a puzzle game in which the whole point of the game is to roll these sausages. You are like this creature with a skewer. You can only pull them in one direction or push them in the other direction or something. It's a very limited controls, and so you're on this grid, and the whole point is to deal with it with these limitations, right? And he made a very in-depth critique on the game, on how it approaches puzzle design, and it's like an hour and 4 minutes long or something, right? He's in the middle of a long form look at the Witcher series, including the books and the movies, and all the games. The first one, the one about the original Witcher game, with ties to the books and the TV show, is 4 hours long. I'm about 2.5, maybe close to 3 hours into it. And, you know, he goes through, like, a lot of the quest lines and stuff. He maybe goes a little bit too deep into it. I remember watching the sausage roll video and eventually being like, man, he is kind of walking you through a whole lot of these puzzles. They're not critiques in the same way that like a normal critic would do it, where they would just talk about the pluses and minuses of the game. He really gets into the specifics, like per scene, per quest, per whatever, per sequence.
Look at this Instagram account.
And
What the fuck?
and like he super gets into very specific detail about all of those things, and I love it for him. I can't think of. No, it was
That's fucking insane, Jackie. That person is crazy.
Someone I think I know from Kansas City, and I don't know who. Could be maybe Bert Levinson. I can see that.
but so what was I even trying to say? These videos are really, really specific and focused, right? Why was I bringing it up? Oh yeah. So he tends to believe that like
Yeah.
he tends to believe that like video games owe it to the player to be a certain thing, right? He has one about Breath of the Wild called it's called like Breath of the Wild critique. It's not enough Zelda, right? So I think that the idea that he's positing is that if you're playing a Zelda game, it needs to be it needs to be a certain amount of Zelda. It needs to have dungeons. It needs to have a story to follow. It needs to have all this stuff. Like, I think for me, the need for a game to be a certain set number of like markers, or like to be a set amount of Zelda-like characteristics is really stupid. The game needs to be a good, well-developed game. Oh, fuck. And then after that, it can be whatever. The Zelda title is a problem. Like, the game wouldn't have had nearly as much play, as much reach, if it were just Nintendo's new open world experiment or whatever. I'm glad they went with Zelda because there's certain things that brings with it. Most notably, a lot of like money and resources. A lot of people willing to work on a Zelda project versus willing to just work on a big open world game. Like, there's some games that came out very, very similar to Breath of the Wild in, in terms of style, and maybe even like open world design elements after the fact. And I think those games probably didn't have the same pull because they weren't quote unquote Zelda games. And I think that if Breath of the Wild had been, I don't know, not a Zelda franchise game, fewer people may have given it a chance. Then it might have eventually grown to that level, but I think it was fine being a Zelda game. Like, you're allowed to try new things with with these games. They don't have to be beholden to their history. I think that, like, one of the things, probably the most Zelda game of them all, in my opinion, is Zelda Skyward Sword. And I think that, I mean, maybe not the most Zelda game of them all, because maybe Link's Awakening is. Why isn't Skyward Sword a top-down, 2D world with, like, two separate world zones? I guess there were two separate world zones. There was, like, the past where you fight this one boss, and the present. I don't really remember Skyward Sword because the game was kind of fundamentally boring because it was so stuck on being a Zelda game through and through. The pace was slow. The dungeons were in a very specific order. They were like some cool ideas, but for the most part it felt like Zelda dungeons all the way through. And between dungeons it was long stretches of like mediocre kind of nothing experiences, because I think the idea is that a Zelda game is a dungeon-based game with gameplay. It didn't matter if there even was gameplay for the rest of the experience. It needed to be about the dungeons. You can have just flying on a bird or sailing a boat or riding in a big empty field with 2 fights every 12 minutes, like, and it's still a Zelda game in people's minds, so it's okay and acceptable. And I think I don't fundamentally agree with a game needing to tick certain things off of a checklist in order to be revered or to be considered worthy of the name. I don't know. Maybe that's where I'm wrong about a lot of this stuff, because maybe every game that has a different idea should be a totally different IP, and then if you want a new Zelda game, it should be the exact same game as Zelda the first one, or Zelda Link's Awakening, or Link Between Worlds, or whatever. Like, I just the adherence, the strict adherence to tradition is, I guess, mostly problematic, and I think there's a lot of like pushback from indie developers and stuff like that that's giving us things like this, where you take an idea and then you give it something brand new. Like, I think that, dude, we're gonna have to use the supply drop before this boss, probably. But you take a pretty established idea and then, like, I don't know, it's why I think, like, I want to play more of Exit the Gungeon, because I don't necessarily love the moment-to-moment gameplay of Exit the Gungeon, but I fucking love Devolver and Softcore or whoever, their willingness to make something so distinct. It basically did the Zelda 1, Zelda 2 thing where, like, the first one was... Hey, why isn't this showing up? The first one was top-down, and the second one was a side-scroller. And, you know, I think, like... I don't know if that was a reference they were intentionally making, but I think it's, like, totally... It's totally fine that they were willing to try something... Yikes. So different. And, like, it is worth rewarding the attempt, if not... I don't know, if not the actual execution. And not making it, like, new game from Dodge Roll, some other brand, but, like, the gameplay is so similar that it might as well be Gungeon. Like, I don't know. Just stop holding on so firmly to things, to ideas and concepts and IPs. Like, it's why you get, it's why I feel you get companies like Apple that release a very, very homogenous product where every year is just a very slight variation on the same thing, and then people complain about the similarities, but they just keep buying it. I know I bought now 2 different iPhones. I got the iPhone 6 and now the iPhone 10. And I think I've gotten past the point of caring if there's if it'll be difficult to switch over to non-iPhone, because I just can't stand their their products having the same problem. Oh my god. Like year after year, iteration after iteration, because they want to follow these same design choices. And some of those design choices, they're excellent. But the ones that don't work don't also need to be maintained because they're trying to keep some, I don't know, some idea of consistency. Or, what's the word? It's a literary word that means consistency, basically. It's not consistency, though. What the fuck word am I thinking of? Ooh. It's like the, when your idea fits and functions within the world. Maybe it is consistency. Internal consistency in narrative or something. Maybe that's the phrase I'm thinking of right now. That was loud. Double vision with that one was loud. Alright. So what gains it? This. This is a super good weapon. We're kind of in a weird situation where I don't think it's the best idea necessarily. We'll use it for now. It's like safe but slow. If I had another more different room clear, it'd be great. Like that room, I think it would have gone better with the this isn't even the fucking room. This is the room. Dude, we're gonna be here for a while. There's a second wave on this one, right? I'm trying to think. Trying to think of an example of an artist who didn't take risks. I mean, well, I think there's a lot of them, honestly. A lot of artists who don't take risks who are very successful regardless. Like, maybe they took early risk and then they just rehashed the same thing. The one I can think of, because we were talking about her earlier, is Rihanna. Rihanna? I'm not supposed to pronounce the H. Rihanna, I believe, is how you say it without pronouncing the H. Ryan O. Anyway, I don't think that she does anything interesting with her music. I don't think that she can sing well, and she is extremely successful because she gives people what they want, which is butt shakes and songs about shaking her butt. And I don't know, I think that there are a lot of, like, pop artists are notoriously great at being the same thing year after year, time after time, and being rewarded for it, you know? I think people probably really, really want internal consistency, I think is what I was thinking of when I was talking about with narratives. But they just want you to keep giving them that same juice, slightly different coat of paint on the same car, you know? But it's weird when, yikes. I guess it's weird to me because, like, kind of why bother with producing a new thing if what you want from it is the same thing? Dude, what are we gonna fucking do about this goddamn run? What are we gonna do? We could get the bracket key. Bracket key and 4.5, 3.5 curse. Oh yeah, that's totally what we're gonna do. Okay, we'll get the big boy then. And 3.5 curse. What can you do? This is a fine room clear. It's got that thing where it, like, whale of a time. Let's see. Backpack. There's chance a skull spawn when getting hit will recover lost health even if the player has another weapon equipped, etc. I think this is a good gun. I think it's a good, pure, like, pounder of a gun. Nothing really special, just a strong regular shot, good range. It doesn't... Oh my god, did I get hit? I totally did. I didn't even see that guy there. Sometimes you just want a gun that you can just go... Fuck. A blue chest? I don't know about that. That'd put us at 7 curse. I don't know, dude. I think our shit stinks a little bit too much for this right now. How do you like to think your shit don't stink? Something boo boo ooh ah. It really stinks like a boo boo ooh ah. Get out of here, phase 1. Weave 1. What's this one? Oh, it's probably money. No? That would also be 7. So we're absolutely not touching that mirror. That would solve a lot of problems and be a lot of useful. Damn it. Just wanted to knock him back. Damn, dude. Pay attention. I was like really, really zoomed in, really fixated on that one enemy. This floor has a lot of shops. Or shop-like things, I should say. I really want the Holy Grail. I don't know if I want 7 curse, though. Holy Grail means no more freaking thinking about ammo. It also means a good amount of damage to a lot of enemies. I don't have enough shots left in that. I can use the freaking fat lime. Or I guess I could use this, which it's been a while, honestly, since I've had to use the, since I've like had to use a starting weapon. Before. I mean, I don't have to. I have things I could use, but like, where it's felt like the wrong call to use better weapons. Yikes. Thanks for spreading that fire. God damn, dude. Please be the kill pillars. Of course. I use that blank way too fucking soon. Oh my god. Slow down bullets are actually screwing with me. And we're a SOL. Yep. Oh god. Wow. 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 That was really fucking close. Like a lot of that was really, really fucking close. Oh, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this floor. We should definitely finish those off. I think that boss went way better than it... I mean, it could have gone much worse, I guess. Oh, come on. Hey, what? Bouncy bullets, you done fucked me. Bouncy bullets will be good with this one, though. That went like through the goddamn wall. Up to 5 bounces, huh? It doesn't pair well with that one. You can't have 2 slow fire or too long reload weapons. He just can't. I mean, it's really good for a charge weapon, but it's still a fucking charge weapon. No trouble getting water on that guy. Do we have the balls to get the Holy Grail? Where's the goddamn shop? I think what we're gonna have to do is get a key and then go from there. That guy died really fast. I don't even know what we can sell. Yikes. We have to buy a blank too. That brown chest. That's right here. Weirdest spot ever. Man, we got no money. That freaking cinches it. We're going... Okay. Doremi, you're so good. It's just not. It's not your run today. I'm sorry. You're so good. I'm just not giving up either of these. I'm choosing offense over defense. All right, get rid of this one. Get rid of the fat line. Let's go get Holy Grail. That's gonna be, let's see. So Holy Grail's only one. Big Boy's only one. You could sell a bunch more junk. That's 5 plus 2. Made so much freaking junk on this run, and we're about to make some more. We're ignoring this, but we're gonna go get this one from this fight. I mean, if any of these want to turn into mimics, that'd be totally fine with that. I do have 7 fucking curse. We're like, I'm like teleporting far, far away from the, if that turned out to be junk, man, junkin', I would have been pretty disappointed, but it also would have been hilarious. I probably wouldn't have found it very funny. Gotta get one shot over on this guy, then we can ignore him. No? I think this particular agonizer is unputtable. Maybe they're all unputtable, but I feel like on some of the agonizers you can definitely Fuck him up with some puds. Okay, 40 for a key, rocket-powered B. Bullets. 10% damage increase is... It's still the best thing we can get right now. There we go. That's all I needed to do. Push him to the fire. This feels like a classic Gungeon. This feels like a Gungeon where there are, I mean, I guess there are some synergy, so it's not like a full classic, but it feels so far removed from the synergy focus, from the, like, all the rat stuff. It just feels like a weak Gungeon where nothing really super changes over the course of the run. It just gets... it just moves one increment at a time instead of ever a big giant pop. Please leave me alone. Hand! God damn it. Cool, of course. Leave me alone, hand! Fuck. Alright, got my health back. I am. Yee. Ooh, kind of a bad dodge. These guys are living for so long. Get in the fire, dude. Get in the fire, all of you dudes. Will this do? Let's see. No, he is puttable. It's just that fucking one. Puddleable. Hey, that guy teleported back into a pud. That's dope. Whoops. Oh. There we go. Right back into pud zone. This guy loves the pud. And this guy loves the ammo. No. There's something. This one. There we go. Oh, we got the Holy Grail. We don't have to worry about ammo. Right. So let's use better weapons. Whoops. Yeah. I mean, we will have to take damage to get damage, but we all know what's gonna happen. Look at the fucking fire rate. Water. Come on, water. Don't be like this. Can't get any fucking mimics. We can get fuses on every single chest. I guess I need to go buy a key so that doesn't happen on the final fucking chest. Man, lead, irradiated lead would be so good too. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. Who dare survive? Two guys? You know when you're gonna start getting HP or getting ammo is when you realize you don't need it anymore. I really love what bouncy bullets are doing for us on this one. There's some good in this run. It's just like saturated and bad. Not all bad though. It's got a lot of badness taint. This guy, scary. Out of here. Whoops. Do I have coolness or something? I feel like maybe they're just taking more damage because they are all fucking jammed these days. But I feel like these enemies are, or my shit's reloading quickly. Okay. That worked very well. Not this time, though. Didn't get my armor back. Didn't get my armor back again. I should have just stayed at a distance and used a different weapon. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my dumb guy brain. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Don't get hit by jammed enemies. The locks, the fuses, the fucking lack of mimics, with all of that other bullshit going on. Get out of here, I can't deal with you guys. Can't deal with two of them. Not a mimic, of course. Let's see, is this one a mimic? Probably not. Oh my guts. Of course, taint. Green could be so good. I just ripped the biggest, fucking grossest fart. I feel a little sick. Why is he not putting up? Ooh, ooh, alright. I'm actually just focusing in now. I'm not happy with a lot of the way this run is going. The 2 blanks, no beams, but we got like stuff that can kind of handle situations that we would usually reserve for beams, I believe. Which is skeletons, of course. Yep. And that's for skeletons. Are you kidding me? Alright. Let's get through it, please. There we go. Being real shitty with these, putting them real tight. Okay. That was a little too squirt for comfort. I don't have a different thing to use right now. We'll use another blank if we have to. I really don't want to like lose the 3 health That goes with getting hit here. Okay. Ooh. Somehow pulled a lead god out of that. Maybe it's true. Maybe what they say is true. When life gives you shit moneyed, it's good. As they are wont to say. We're gonna do the dumb thing and go in there because I also think the secret room is in there. But it really is. It's a worse bet. Because the number of bad items we can get from this guy far exceeds. It's not in here. There's no. Okay. Is it here? Yeah, okay. Well, it's not terrible. We can do this just a little bit before we start taking any damage. Then I guess we gotta just destroy both of these. So I'm going to use the skull gun as much as possible. Just because, like, if I take damage, I need that chance for health, because even though it looks like I have a bunch, there's a chance that the Lich is jammed. We have no extra blanks, no defensive items. We just have that little bit of potential health regeneration. Oh, I'm so sore. Oh, yeah. So, this and this. A little bit of this or that. The extra damage is good. The explosive rounds are fucking crazy. I guess we should give it to this one now. So the whole point of the gunner as a gun is we need it to keep ammo because we need to be holding it when we get hit in order to turn that hit back into health. The cool thing is if we do get hit, we get ammo. So it's not bad either. Yeah, this is the only thing we have to worry about here. I honestly really believe that bouncy bullets are going to be a great big old boon with rocket propelled bullets. Not rocket controlled, rocket propelled. I'm just gonna shoot through. We're gonna use the thing in the beginning of the next turn to decrease our first wave significantly. Yeah.
What?
Nate's doing the rune trials in Doom 2016.
No idea what they'll do.
Those things are tough, dude, and you're doing it on ultraviolence?
Yeah.
God, that's insane. That sounds insane.
It's not me hard to get.
Well, it still sounds insane. Man, that one flew straight fucking through. That was crazy. Alright, let's just get this room done. Sweet. Got some ammo without even having to take damo. Couldn't fucking see. Switch weapons. There it is. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It gave me both hearts back. Alright. Does he eat faster? Dude, it's giving me both hearts back. Oh, I think he died. I think he might have actually died to poison while he was chomping down. On that second one. But the first one definitely gave me all 2 of them hearts. Saving it. This is the wrong way. Get everybody the fuck out of there. Going in this way. Yeah, I don't know. Technically, probably would have still been best practices to save it, but you know how sometimes you don't want to get an item at the very end that would have been extremely useful for the way to the end. That's how I felt right there. Whoa, God, calm down, dude. Get him. Get him. God, this Goner gun is good as gold. Trying to keep the alliteration going. When I was younger, I remember there being a time where alliteration was like the fucking coolest trick you could pull. Like being able to like spit some allits was a definite important skill amongst me and my classmates, at least. Maybe not amongst people my age, because I'm sure there are a ton of people who didn't care about nerd shit. But, you know, they can go fuck themselves, for all I care. Come on, get the right one. There we go. A single extra health. And we went the right way. Oh my god. You beat it? That's how? Nice. All it takes is a point right screenward. And you're good to go. Alright. Running out of gunner ammo. Sucks a dick. Sucks a dick. Sucks a dick. But we are here. I don't know what I'm going to be using on these tree. I'm not really happy about our blanks right now, or our weapons, or whatever, but I am extremely confident in our regular abilities. Dang, lining that horizontal up was fantastic. I guess we're just gonna spray this one until the juice stops squirting out. Hopefully get a fucking Get him done quickly. Had to use it. It sucks. You can't do those two back to back. That is the least fair combination of abilities. Well, we got an LG, I believe. I need to double check. I know I looked at it right before the boss, but I never trust myself with that because, like, of course I'm gonna assume I got an LG. This is the kind of assumption that I want to make. Is it worth it? Oh, you can't see it. You can't see when that's going. That's definitely the one you want to blank there. And then you can just be done. Well, one bad combo that I should have probably blanked after... You know, the first one I think was actually just bad positioning on my end. Oh, the whole thing was smooth. I got to harp on fandom for the 1 billionth time. We're still in quarantine. We're at day like 35 of quarantine, so it's kind of like, what else am I going to talk about? Huh? I'm back about it. We sat at sweet 7 for our curse. You know, you want it to be about half a point lower than that, if possible, for highest benefits, no fear of boss jamnation. But yeah, we did get the LG, and I think overall, considering the slackness, the number, so we threw away, we sold, I believe, 7. We sold at least 4. Maybe we didn't sell the second time. No, I think we sold fucking 7 junk. So we had 10 junk over there. I'll go back and watch the video and count how many junk we sold. But I think it was, we had 10 junk on that run. That's dumb. That's such a shitty, disappointing lack of resources. Just unlucky.